I don't do psychedelics, but I almost feel like I'm on them right now. Because what I feel for you happening almost feels like when you find your way of stepping through, this is not the role that I have to like put on, but I'm breaking through it, like breaking out of a chrysalis. Emily, do you have something on your mind presently that you want us to look into?
I don't think so. I have a lot of big things happening right now, but I don't know that I have specific. I can ask like what's going to happen with them, but I think I'd
Mm-hmm.
rather receive what you feel guided to share.
Okay, cool. Great. And I'm going to back up just a little because even though you don't mind, sometimes it's a little distracting for me where I'm like, oh, this is in my face, this light. All right. Whenever you're ready, if you'll take a deep breath and close your eyes, if you want to close your eyes, or you can keep them wide open if that's what you like. And noticing as you take in a deep breath and have a moment of pausing and relaxing, is there any part of your body that needs some love and attention in this moment? And with your next inhale, picturing that if there is a part of your body that's asking for love and attention, that your breath is going there. Exhaling whenever you're ready, taking in another deep breath. And if you need to shift in your chair or take off your shoes or, I don't know, unbuckle your belt, whatever, if there's anything you need to do to feel just a little bit more comfortable, because there's something that's giving you 5% discomfort, or even 10 or 12 or 14% discomfort, feel free to adjust that. No one's going to mind if you take your socks off or unbuckle your belt. Now, if you take your top off, that might bring some people onto this session who we don't want here. You can save that for when you re-listen. Taking in another deep breath and noticing the happiness that you feel both internally, and sometimes happiness, it can almost be like a cloud or a whole like environment that surrounds you as well. And exhaling out whenever you're ready. I'm going to mention briefly that I'm getting this sense, I don't know if it's your spirit guides or your higher self or however you want to think of it, but there's a feeling of persistent. They just keep on telling me, Emily, Emily, Emily. And then they're like, almost like, don't forget this, but don't forget that. And don't forget, we're going to ask about this. So I'm just naming that we're not going to forget anything that needs to be paid attention to or named. Or asked. We're going to have the acceptance that whatever comes out, that was the biggest thing that comes out. And whatever doesn't get asked, that might also feel pressing or persistent, you can ask in a meditation or in a walk later, or come back for another session too. Any of those options are fine. But there is, the lines of communication are open, and if parts of you that want to communicate things with you, or that want to ask you questions, or that want you to ask them questions, this is going to be an opening so that you can return to this state, this feeling, if you want to. I'm noticing a little bit of stuff related to the stomach, so I'll just mention that. We may come back to that later. So with your next deep breath, picturing that all of your attention, all of your awareness, all of your energy, all of your presence of mind and of being, we're calling it all into this present moment. And you're feeling all of it coming back to you. So if there's parts of you that either from last month or last week, things that your mind or your emotions were connected to or attached to or had to keep top of mind, if it's important, you'll know, it'll come back to you later. But for right now, all of your attention is coming back to you, all of your focus, all of your energy, and all of it is being held in your body. You're feeling that exciting exhilaration of, some people feel like it's a little bit almost electric, and electricity of being in this moment and feeling how it feels to be with your body and have this attention on yourself and this presence with yourself. Releasing with the exhale everything that could be something you picked up that's not yours, something you were holding on to that wasn't yours, things you tried to remember that you don't need to remember, other people's expectations, other people's thoughts, dust, pet dander, any of it, all of it. We're just blowing it out, letting it all go away with the exhale. I'm feeling that I do want to bring up, I don't know if there's something happening with your stomach, and I don't know if this is a literal like digestive system stomach or metaphorical symbolic, but it feels like I need to talk about this before moving on and looking and seeing if there's anything else that we're going to get to. So I'm going to pause for a moment and see, is there anything that wants to be said about your stomach, whether it's digestion or how you stomach things or gut feeling or something that's more symbolic with stomachs? Yeah, maybe it's something that kind of makes you sick to your stomach. Is there anything recently that you've had to deal with that felt disgusting or that it almost makes you like recoil with a little bit of, ugh, I have to deal with this, whatever. It might not be a disgusting, like it smells bad, but maybe repulsive situation.
That I've already experienced, you're asking? Yeah, just recently over the holidays, there was a little bit
Mm,
of that. And we were in very high altitude, and my symptom of altitude was digestive distress.
wow. Yeah. Whew. Okay. I just got, as you can tell, I feel things in my body when these happen. So you saying that, whew, you can, some of the questions I ask, if they get too personal, you don't have to answer. Okay. So, but I will ask, seeing where it leads us, was along with the digestion upset, did it also bring up emotions of, I don't know if it's grief or sadness or almost like, wait, why is my body doing this? Or if there were other things that in a way brought you to tears. It feels like a lot of emotion came to the surface really quickly because of that.
Yes, a lot of emotion came to the surface. I didn't associate it with the emotion was happening because of circumstances of visiting people
Yes,
who were in
right.
high altitude. So I was having digestive stuff, I think, because of the altitude, and I was processing what I identified as grief, like
Hmm.
preparational grief almost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, huge emotional stuff.
Hmm. Thank you for sharing. And I'm going to pause for a moment for us and anyone else tuning in who tunes in, because you honored your experience by noticing it, by processing it, by being present to it, and it, we don't people don't always want to experience the discomfort of changing in altitude, the discomfort of, oh, I'm dealing with this situation, I'm grieving for something that I know is coming, even if it hasn't come yet. And so you allowing yourself to be present to that, to feeling it, to processing it. Also, to me, I don't know if this was your experience of it, but it doesn't feel that you were unkind to yourself going through it. Like it felt like you had some compassion of like, now this is what we're going through. We're just gonna do whatever. And and the dealing with it. So I don't want to rush on to speaking of anything else yet, because it's important to acknowledge what you did and what you experienced. And I don't, it probably was uncomfortable. It's like, great, physical discomfort, emotional, all happening at once. And it did feel like it was both like internal and external, both happening simultaneously.
Yeah, like a pressure cooker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
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 Mhm.
Are you in a calmer place now physically, or in terms of you do you feel like you finished processing mostly?
Oh, finish processing. No.
Oh, okay.
I felt like, I mean, this is going to sound contradictory to what to saying like, no, definitely not finished, because
Yeah.
I feel like it'll be maybe lifelong processing, but I felt complete of my experience. Like I felt like I let
Mm,
it go energetically. I
yes.
had a process with it. So
Good.
you seeing it is like, interesting that it's still lingering around, but I do
Yes.
feel like I've been tending to it,
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yes. And
digesting it, really.
yes. And to me, it doesn't feel, how do I put this? I can't always tell when I tune in, is this like, where in the timeline is it? Sometimes I can see things very clearly in the timeline, but sometimes it's like things that happened recently, it's like there's still the effects of those. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's why I can't yet tell, like, are you done processing? But I do also feel this feeling of, and I don't know what your symptoms were, but almost a feeling still of there being a little bit of this, like, let's get the garbage out, like either vomiting it out. Not that I'm asking you to literally go puke, but,
Yeah.
and some of it, because of this get the garbage out feeling that I'm getting almost of like puking, you might play around with, do you need to go somewhere, or maybe in your current situation you can do this too, in a room of like where you spit out a lot of things that you want to say that might feel like garbage, but, and it's not that you are harboring things, but it's almost like, let me just expel it all out. Let me just rant for 5 minutes about all the garbage that I'm feeling or have thought, not to like think that I'm dwelling on it, but just to get the garbage out. And yeah, as I'm saying this, I'm just getting so many tingles of freedom and release, and also, I don't know if you do anything that feels what probably, I guess, people would call like somatic things of moving your body to help process stuff.
Yes.
But in addition to speaking some things out or screaming them out, I also think something that's either like a shaking it out, also maybe at a different time. Like, I feel like there's enough that two separate times of processing, one that's get the garbage out, and the other that's almost like, whew, I'm done. So now I'm taking a shower after a good shake, or going maybe to a spa day. I don't know if you like going to the spa, but I feel like something where they do a steam room or like a exfoliation and steam. I feel like some water in a spa setting would feel both cleansing externally and internally, and also soothing to be, because it's like, I get the impression you're a responsible person who deals with your stuff. And let's also like responsibly love and nurture and pamper you a little bit for doing so much responsible handling of situations, your own energy, your own life. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Were you expected to be responsible from a young age in terms of taking things on, or being like a kid who didn't need things from others because you just like, you're organized or you did well and that type of thing?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like it's both part of who you are, and also I think the reason I'm talking about spa and pampering is it, and if this is too much, again, anything I say, you can be like, not today, Rachel. I also feel like it's a role that you kind of had to choose. You felt like, this is the role I'm doing. and everything works if I do this role. So I'm going to do it. Whew, goodness. I'm getting all the feels everywhere. And I'm not saying that this has to be a role you put down, because obviously every role, every archetype, every coping mechanism has its power and its usefulness. And there are parts of you, whew, especially powerful. I'm not going to say that other people aren't having this kind of powerful stuff, but like what I feel is happening for you is just, whew, it's pretty intense. I don't do psychedelics, but I almost feel like I'm on them right now. Because what I feel for you happening almost feels like when you find your way of stepping through, this is not the role that I have to like put on, but I'm breaking through it, like breaking out of a chrysalis, or like a cicada breaking out of that cocoon. To me, it feels like, whoo, like now you will be standing in the glory of what Emily is here to do, what she can do, and like the unstoppable force, but not unstoppable in like a, like capitalist news on all the time kind of unstoppable, but like the universal energy flowing through you, the sun is always shining, unstoppable, like that truly radiant power. And there is still this, there are some people, they need to drop the role, and it's like that was then, this is now. But for you, it feels like you will emerge through it, and it's still a part of you, but it's not like what's leading you forward from your head and your heart and your vision and your true. It does feel like there's a lot of leadership and maybe goddess energy. I don't know how you feel about when people talk about goddesses, but I don't use the term goddess a lot because it's not, it can be overused. It's like, sure, we've all got some of that, but to me, you stepping through, like the value of transforming through what the role of being responsible is, it feels like that's you embodying the goddess energy of what your soul came to do as a leader.
Can we dive into that a little bit more?
Yeah, let's.
So I'm going to talk a little bit nuanced just because of this being public. But so part of the time that I just had in a different country at high altitude, and what we started with which was stomach stuff, is stepping out of a role that I used to be in. And this was the first time that I have stepped out of that role with a parental figure. And like, so my role was knowing how to tap dance and people please. And so to choose not to do that and then know that there may be disappointment, when I used to be able to do that to prevent disappointment, which was my survival and safety and being loved, right?
Yes.
So choosing not to do that and knowing that and being okay that there was disappointment was like, oh my God, I have never done this before. I know that I can tap dance and make this disappointment go away, or I can stay true to myself and know that there will be disappointment and like try to be okay with that. Feels resonant to me with what you're talking about, with stepping through this role of responsibility, taking all the responsibility for people's happiness and well-being, or happiness. So I'm curious, have I finished? And how much longer?
You mean how much longer do we have together? You can definitely talk more.
Well, I meant, have I finished with stepping? Am I done? Am I on the goddess side of things? Like, where am I in this chrysalis process?
Right. Yeah. Good question. Well, I feel like it's very close, because like when I was talking about feeling like I'm under the influence of psychedelics, to me, that makes it feel like you're literally in the emergence right now. And
I feel that.
Yeah, for the next 3 to 6 months, even though I'm saying now, it's going to keep on. Whew, yeah, I'm getting all the goosebumps standing up. I'm just so excited too, because I meet with a lot of people who they're transforming in one way or another, and they're very what I would call leading edge, new, whatever you want to phrase it, thought leadership or visionary or blah blah. Not that blah blah is negating it, but fill in your own words. But I don't often, when I tune into the timeline, it's rare that it's where you are right now, of the immediacy of, it's like when I feel it, it feels like everything is all happening right now, of the chrysalis coming off or breaking through. So it's like, yes, you're not emerged fully yet, you're in the process of it, but I also know that it's one of those, you've probably had other moments in your life. I don't know if you're literally a tap dancer, but I'm just going to go with the dance analogy, where you're like, oh, I understand this tap dance move like the first time you get it. But then over the next few weeks, it's like, oh, and this is how I do it. And this is how, there's the joy of when something's new, of rediscovering it again and again. And not that every moment of this emergence is going to be joy, because some of it is also like bracing yourself for other people's disappointments. And I can get through this, and I'm not going to change in the middle of the disappointment to do what might make them happy, and then everything's fine again. So it's not, oh, wait, you feel the joy after that moment, not necessarily in it. So I feel like this next few months is going to be you really gaining the fluidity of, oh, here's what it feels like to live in this skill, and the joy of the newness of it. And it's going to be continuously, your awareness is going to continuously see all of the refinement of that. It's almost like, well, I think one reason the flower or the lotus shows up with spiritual imagery is, to me, I feel like over the next couple months, each day is another petal of, and it's a separate petal that's connected, but it's a newness. And they're each similar but different. I'm so excited to tell you about Talk to the Trees, written by myself, Rachel Strivelli, psychic. Talk to the Trees is a short book about actually literally talking to them, metaphorically talking to them, learning from these elder beings how to get through hard times, how to approach the times that we're in. What do trees know about love, family, and connection? You can buy it at the places linked below. Check it out, share it with a friend, buy it for a friend. So that's what it feels like to me. Mm-hmm. And so you might have had 5 petals already, but this flower is going to be like a chrysanthemum or a dahlia or a lotus that has 50 to 80 petals on it. Yeah. So I'm just so excited for you and so happy.
Well, excellent. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you're there and not there yet, because if we look at this flower, and I don't know how often you spend time in nature, but like when a flower's first having the first little 2 petals unfurl, most people don't look at that and they're like, whoa, it's bloomed. For an outsider looking in doesn't know yet. And even the flower itself is maybe like, okay, I'm still just like creeping out the first openings of it. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's helpful.
So, okay, I'm keeping track of the time. I don't know how the time flew by so quickly. So we still have a few more minutes, although in a few minutes, I'm going to ask you to share with the viewers and listeners your take on this. But I think there's time for a short question, if there is a short question, or even if it's not a short question, you can ask it and I will give a brief answer.
Okay, I'm seeing a lot of expansion and flourishing personally and professionally for myself. And can you agree?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to tune in. I mean, my first answer is yes. From what I've already said, I'm going to tune in and see if I see anything else. Wow. Okay. Whew. So immediately they're telling me they want you to prepare to be surprised in a good way of, they're not saying in a good way, but it is a good surprise of like how good it can be, how wonderful it can be prepared to be surprised of like, wow, how fast and rich you can flourish this month, this year, this decade, this infinity. Okay, what else is there they want to say about that? There's also a little bit of the, I don't know with the work that you do, if you have a support team, but I get the feeling that if you don't, later in this year, you're going to want to develop the team that feels supportive to you. So if your team is there, are they supportive? And if they're not, then this calendar year, that would be a good time to do it. To me, it feels like that's a little bit beyond the emergence. It's almost a little bit of this. First, there's this emergence that's going to continue to evolve over the next few months, and then upon when you're feeling more at the tail end of the emergence, you're going to realize, oh, this is the type of things I need in my life or for my support. And there also might be I get a little bit that there's a touch of, this is a wild ride that it's going to feel like a little bit, perhaps. And it's okay. Like, it will not be a wild ride forever. I get distinct, almost the roller coaster, that type of ride. It's like, it's going to feel wild for a little bit, but it's not, this is your life now. It's always a wild ride. Yeah, let me see if there's anything else. I definitely feel a lot of excitement. And yeah, in addition to the be surprised about how good it can be type of thing, I also think this surprise I don't know if it's going to change what you do per se. And yeah, it's almost like how I said, it's not like you're going to leave responsibility. It's still there with you, but you're a different like permutation of it. So to me, it feels some of that of, it may be that the work that you do, it's not going to be like night and day difference. It's more like, this is just the next evolution of it. That's more, I keep on going back to these insect things, because it's like, would you say that the larva or the pupa stage of the insect is not the insect? No, it is, but it does look different than the adult stage, but it's still the same essence of that being.
Okay.
Yeah.
All that feels good.
Oh, good. Awesome. So for the viewers, do you want to share with them beyond all that feels good? Are there takeaways that you feel, or how does this sit for you in terms of clarity, effectiveness, usefulness, or anything of that nature?
Yeah. Excellent. It was very helpful. I've taken a page of notes and stuff all along the sides. I think I'm leaving here feeling affirmed, which is really nice, right? Clear in what's happened, what may be happening, and how I can best facilitate it. And I think I don't, it's not confident, but I mean, I do feel confident, but that's not the core piece that I have here is like a little more grounded in my authenticity, because you just reflected back a lot of things that are true for me, and it allows me to settle into it and not be in my head wondering about it. So very helpful. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. I'm so excited. Thank you for sharing that. And if you feel comfortable, you should definitely tell me in the future how things go. Because I feel like I want to know in a few months, like, what's happening. And also, excuse me, I'm really, when I said I don't talk about goddess energy a lot, it just makes me feel that when the people who I tune into, who that's what's coming out to me, feels like they're doing something that I don't know. I don't want to make it sound like you're doing something really important in the world. Like a lot of us are, but
Yeah.
some people, it just carries this different essence to it. So I'm really happy for you, and that you are willing to embody this level of leadership, of love, of whatever all the other qualities that you do, and that you came here to do this, and that it just feels so incredible that, you know, in whatever way people are around you, it's you're either igniting something in them or supporting it, or you're just that person who maybe they're never even conscious that, oh, she did that, so I can do that. So all of those elements of it, I just wanted to speak to my gratitude that your willingness to do that, because also it's like back to the tap dancing thing of, you could have just kept on doing what worked, like not everybody chooses, yes, I'm going to do things that might be hard and go through it and all of that. And so you are, and there's all of this other good stuff coming, and everyone around you gets to benefit from you being courageously authentic to yourself. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much. That's very kind words. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Ooh, all right. Well, according to my clock, we're out of time pretty much. So do you need, how do you feel if we wrap it up? Are you feeling good? I know you already a little bit shared your stuff, but
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I feel complete. I am going to circle back with you again.
yeah, sure. That would be awesome. Feel free to tell other people about me, because I'm sure you know some cool people too.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm excited to share you.
Awesome. I am a psychic who helps people in business who understands business. And what I can tell you is, if there are 5 things or 6 things that you're considering doing in your business and you wish you knew which ones not to do, together we can tune in and eradicate 3 to 5 of those. So you only have 1 or 2 things to focus on. Imagine the massive amount of time and energy and wondering this could save you. If you could just commit to the thing, because you know that this is what's totally aligned with you and your business right now and this time, that moves you forward. That gives you so much action to pour into your business. Now, there's a playlist. You can look at other sessions that clients have had, and you'll notice time and time again, they get 1 to 2 to 3 specific areas that are green lights for them to work on in their business. Things that they can really focus on that are definitely going to help them. Occasionally, they also get the clarity on, don't do these other things. It's not going to work for you. It's not in your best interest right now. How beautiful is it in this time and world of so many choices, so many options, to already have it narrowed down to, these are things to focus on. These are things that are not going to work for you. And to have that extra bit of confidence, that stamp of approval saying, this also feels internally aligned. So not only are you thinking it, but this is what I'm reading from your energy field, from spirit, from the infinite field of possibilities, that is maximally aligned for your potential. That's what makes life and business so much fun. So I am really looking forward to our first session together. May it be the first of many. Go ahead, there's the booking link below. See you soon.